Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's morning time where I'm at. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome in. My name is Roxanne, and thank you for finding my channel whenever you did. It is Alchemy of Acrimony. So thank you so much. I did schedule a live stream for 9:30 a.m. I'm a little bit late, sorry. But yeah, I see that I have 7 people. I don't know. I'm still learning my the YouTube, like the way it works and scheduling a live stream for me. I was looking that up to say, okay, how do I go about to let people know that I'm going to be on the live in the morning? So yeah, I had some stuff to do. I was getting my morning coffee. So if anybody has anything right along with me, feel free. So I had my morning coffee. I had to get ready, and then I'm right now cooking on the stove. But I have that going really low and slow for a while because I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that while I'm on the live, because I'm literally cooking and I got to prep my lunch for the rest of the week. So yeah, got a lot of things going on. Okay, so hopefully whoever wanted to join will find me later and pop on. And yeah, I'm still learning the ropes when it comes to the whole YouTube world. And when you're actually a have your own channel and you're becoming a content creator, there's still so much more for me to learn. It's pretty crazy. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about honing myself down and literally running through YouTube videos, because I know they have stuff up on YouTube about their own channel and how to do stuff. It's like a how-to they have. I think I'm really gonna have to hone down for like a whole weekend and just flow through all these subjects of how to do this, how to do that. I still haven't even figured out. I'm trying to get, my next step is to try to get my picture that is above my little profile pic. When you go into my channel, there's like a little picture. And so I'm still trying to figure out like how to get that picture to fit into with the pixels and like the size, the image size, because I think I'm doing it right. But then when I go to, put the image in there, it doesn't fit. And so I'm getting like half the image. But in a way, I kind of think it's pretty significant because um, you're only seeing half of me. So the fact that you're only seeing half of my picture on my page is that's unique. So I thought maybe it's meant to be like that. Who knows? So I just kind of left it like that and I stopped messing with it. But I still want to learn, because at some point I'm thinking of changing that. I don't know to what yet. I mean, for me, it takes a while to really like think about, what I'm going to do as far as like what I'm creating and stuff. My brain can like, I have so many ideas. It's crazy. Yeah. So join me with some coffee or tea or whatever you got to drink. And I felt, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and say hello, chat, channel, tarot, oracle, whatever I feel led to do. My hand is grabbing the tarot cards, my tarot cards. So I don't know if somebody's like, read the tarot, read the tarot. What does the tarot have to say? Okay, so we'll do something. I don't know. I feel led to say I'm gonna go with a card to kind of see what the energy is for the collective out there, okay? And so it's the Page of Pentacles. Okay, and that could be, maybe I have a lot of more youthful people in here, younger than myself. I won't say my age specifically, but I am over 40. And I know to a lot of people that's probably really old. But you know what? I kind of see it as age is just a number. The longer I'm on this planet, the more I see like age truly is just a number. There are people that can be young and wise as hell. They can be wise beyond their years and completely mature And then there are people that are older than me and they still act like a kid. So, you know, whatever, teach his own. It's crazy though. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. Okay, the first thing that I want to say, what I see is somebody starting something new, or an opportunity is being presented to you, or it will be. Okay. I see a lot of stability here. So whatever that is, I say go for it. There's a lot of green, you know, the pentacles, very earthy vibe. I see a lot of green in this picture, and green for me is stability. It also could be about abundance. Pentacles is about abundance, your money, finances. So I see for some of you, maybe you're trying to get on track with that, or that's something that's really important to you guys right now that you're focusing on. Some of you could be where I kind of see maybe there's some of you that are from like the Midwest or somewhere in that region of America where there's just like a lot of land, a lot of ranches, a lot of open with trees and beautiful scenery. Acres. I'm getting acres in my head. Like there's a lot of acres of land. Yeah. So whatever this is for you, if it's healthy, if it's something that is going to further your growth and development and becoming becoming more into your higher self, I say go for it. If it's a great opportunity for you in those aspects, then why not, right? I'm a huge supporter in anything and for anyone that wants to elevate themselves. I seen that word in my head right now, elevate, elevate. Yeah, so I say go for it. This could be something that starts off small and ends up turning out really good for you. And when I say that, I see the image of the King of Pentacles in my mind. So this can jump from the page to the king if you let it. This can be an opportunity in your career, some type of business, something that you're thinking of investing in, something that you're wanting to launch. The way his hands are, it reminds me of like when you're holding a bird or something you want to launch in the air, just fly in the sky. I see that. But this is a really beautiful card. It's a good way to start off. I was like, I hope I don't flip something over and it's like the Three of Swords or something, because that's not good. Hold on one sec. Anywho, moving on. I'm gonna give you the Dead Inside deck. Okay, we're gonna see what that has to say. This is backwards. This is backwards. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna put that over there. So that's gonna be like my next goal for myself. Really trying to like get myself a desk and a chair, because this chair is horribly hard and hurts my butt. Especially after sitting here for an hour or more. It starts to get not good. This one wanted to come out. Okay, let's see. Doing it again. Oops, compulsion and bad decisions. That one was at the bottom of the deck, guys. Doing it again, compulsions, bad decisions. I don't know. So with this card right here at the bottom, I want to say paired up with the Page of Pentacles. Mercury retrograde, I don't know if we're in that yet, but I know we're heading into that or already in that. So whatever the case may be, you could go online and look it up even further to see what exactly that is all about. But I know it does talk about, it is about bringing back. Sometimes you're going to get nostalgic and There may be things that pop up along the way during that Mercury retrograde time. That could be stemming from the past, a lot of nostalgia. It could be from your past. It could be all the way back from your childhood. It could be seeing an old friend from your childhood. It could be a past relationship. But a lot of times when it comes to the relationship part, it's saying, did you learn the lesson? So if you might want to take into consideration and ask yourself, is there anything or anyone that could be popping up in your text messages or calling your phone to kind of say, hey, how you doing, after so long of not talking to you, and you're like, what the heck, like, I thought this was over. But there's a lesson there that has to be learned. Okay, so a lot of times you want to be aware of what you're coming into contact with, who you're coming into contact with, and what kind of role they played in your life, and if there was a lesson to be learned there, because sometimes the universe will throw you a fireball out of nowhere and during Mercury retrograde. And if it's with a person that you don't want to interact with anymore, and then they pop up out of nowhere, then you might want to consider the fact that, oh, this is a big test to see if I learn the lesson or make the same mistake. So don't hit the red button and make the same mistake, especially if it's something toxic. Okay, if it's somebody that, and that it doesn't even have to be personal relationship. It can be friend, family, uh as well as romantic relationships. And so we got overstimulated in public. Okay, noise, panic, sensory bombardment. This card has popped out before, and when I see this card, I think of an introvert, right? There are some people that get overstimulated in noisy, crowded rooms, which is understandable and completely relatable to myself, because I can get like that sometimes, especially when it's Christmas and it's the holidays. It all starts around Thanksgiving. If it's crazy madness, just like you see in this card, see all the people in the background, I can't deal. I don't do any of that stuff. The Black Friday deals, the running around like a crazy, I don't do that. Fighting over items, I don't, and I will never. As it is, shopping for me is already like I have to be really in the mood to put myself, to actually shop for myself. Uh, and if I'm not finding anything, it could be really frustrating for me. And then that's when I call it quits, especially if I'm at the mall, because that can be overstimulating sometimes. Too many people, I start to get a headache. Um, and I start to get more irritated with the more people that crowd around me. I don't like people over my shoulder or too close to me. I like my personal space. So instead of putting myself in a bad mood, giving myself a headache, or trying to squeeze myself where I know I shouldn't be because I'm starting to get upset, uh I'll leave. I don't I can't do that. So I completely resonate. Um so I don't know if some of you out there are like that. I know my youngest daughter, she's right there with me on that. Me and her can look at each other at a certain point and be like, "You want to go?" And she's like, "Yep, let's go." Can't sleep, might spiral, overthinking, emotional overload. I don't know if some of you guys are having sleep issues. Um, I don't know, sleep issues, waking up in the middle of the night. It could be just from your mind. You got way too much on your mind, and when that happens, our bodies won't allow us to just rest. And sometimes by the time we try to rest, we close our eyes and then we hear our alarm go off and we've only gotten maybe an hour, if best, sleep. That's happened to me a lot of times. You might want to look into things that will help you. Um, and yet again, we're talking about the ASMR, taking it back to that. Actually, I was doing a little bit of that last night, and it worked like a charm. I was grounding myself, um, doing, that whole deal, putting my body, my mind, like your body's laying down in a rest position, but you have to align your mind to go along with that rest, right? So I was kind of grounding myself, I try to meditate for a little bit to put myself in my safe space that, it's home. I'm home and I'm safe and it's time to rest. And so I notice for me that's been a big thing and it's really been working out for me. So I'm trying to keep the momentum with that type of meditation going so I can gain like a my body, it's like instead of taking, something to help me sleep or, you know, if I can do this, then I would rather do that. But, no dings on anybody that does that. I know I did that for a while. I tried multiple different sleep aids and all kinds of stuff, because when you're going through the worst of the worst, especially when you're going through divorce, your mind, you got a lot of things jumping around, in your brain. And so the sleep is just off and it's horrible. Right here it says overthinking. And so that can get way out of control where your brain is constantly just go, go, go. And you're thinking about all this stuff that you cannot do anything about. You absolutely cannot change it. You can't fix it. There's no point to even thinking about it because, nothing can be done, and sometimes, when you look back and you think, man, I stayed up all night to worry about that one thing. And there wasn't anything I could do about that one thing anyway. So I lost, I don't know how much. And then when I really look back and think about all the chaos that my divorce caused my body, I think about, whoa, if I could add up all the hours of missed sleep that I was getting, like just all the hours of missed sleep, I mean, that would be days and days, months maybe of just missed sleep. And when they say, okay, so supposedly when you do that to your body, you're cutting years, off your life. I don't know how much of that is actually true, but I do believe to a point you could, because sleep is very important to our bodies. We're designed and created, to get some rest and some sleep. So if anybody's dealing with that, I feel you. I'm right there with you. There are ways though to help yourself out with that. And then we got being too much again, rejection, overexpression, shame. This has popped out also before. So like I guess when you're going places and maybe you're doing a little bit too much. When I see this card, the thing that pops up in my head is becoming the show instead of watching the show. Right? And that can happen if we drink a little bit too much or overindulge at a party, and then we end up shit faced and becoming the one that everybody laughs at and then feeling shameful about it the next day. That's happened to a lot of us. Let's just admit it. Let's be real, people. I've became that plenty of times. I was saying the other day in a video how, I was a walking shit show at one point in my divorce. And actually, not even gonna lie, growing up, teen years, getting really drunk and doing crazy stuff. That's actually, I'm guilty of that. I am the crazy one. I tend to be the one that, yeah, uh, the crazy one, the one that always did the crazy things. So that's not very good, but and then it's kind of like embarrassing, if you run into somebody you haven't seen in a really long time and they're like, oh my God, remember when we did that or you did this? And I'm like, oh God, oh, you still remember that. I was hoping you forgot. Yeah, so that's funny. And it says falling for red flags, attraction, ignored warnings, drama. So I was talking about that, and I was talking about that with the Page of Pentacles, and then the oops, I did it again with Mercury retrograde coming. So, so where are we at? Falling for the red flags. So if you know this person or thing, whatever this is that's approaching you during Mercury retrograde, if you know that it's going to be, see, look at, I'm in the camera, but I'm wanting to put the page upside down. That's a no, people. Whoever this is approaching you, maybe a really immature person, maybe younger than you, uh, could be somebody that just doesn't take life seriously. Somebody that you probably already seen the red flags with and you ignored it. Maybe you fell for some of them. This person could talk a big game, but then, yeah, it's like womp womp at the end. I've went through a lot of those. So I don't know. You guys just might want to be aware. Um, be careful who you allow and who you invite in your space, right? Who you bring over your house, who you allow to, who you're giving your energy to. Because at the end of the day, that's what we are doing. Okay. When we choose to let people, entertain us and be a part of our lives and we entertain that person back as well, it takes a lot of energy. And we don't really realize that or understand that at the time, but it does. Okay. And sometimes when we're dealing with a person that's not meant to be in our lives because we've seen the red flags, but we're still entertaining it and we're like feeling tired, exhausted, cranky, irritated, and walking around like that sometimes, always stop and ask yourself why. Because a lot of the times, like I said, we're um we're gaining uh teetering ourselves, getting some type of energetic cord from one person to the other, and it binds us energetically. And so when we're draining all our good energy on somebody that shouldn't even we shouldn't, even have in our lives, that can be a big reason and a lot of reason why when we start to see, okay, why am I being cranky? Why am I being irritated? Why am I in a bad mood most of the time? If you're being set off super easy, triggered. Um Sometimes too, if this person is just popping into your brain at random times during the day and you don't know why, it's because you know, it's the energetic tie between you two. It could be because that person, is pulling on you or pulling on your energy. Something is coming back around into your life that made you feel uncomfortable, a loss of energy. It was just bad feelings. You gotta just be aware. Don't allow people like that back into your life, especially if you've already gotten rid of them or they've already just disappeared themselves and just, walked away from the relationship or, whatever the case may be. Um, when Mercury retrograde happens, sometimes it shifts these people right back into your life, and then it's like, did you learn the lesson or not? Okay, falling for the red flags again, and that could be with anybody, not just a love situation, but I see the hearts in his eyes, so this could be a romantic situation for some of you guys. So just be aware of that because it is really a thing. And that has happened to me plenty of times where it's like, what? I haven't heard from you. And so when you think back on why is this person calling me again or why are they popping up, usually more times than not, it's to see if you've learned the lesson. Because when you think about it, if somebody's really meant to be in your life and it's a good matchup and it's positive, they'll be there. The fact that they're not there and then all of a sudden they show up out of nowhere, that just tells you a lot, right? It's either they're only coming back for one thing, and a lot of us know what that is, right? And it's not good. Don't let people be energy vampires and drain you of your energy, especially opening up yourselves in that way to be vulnerable to, you know, continue on a specific type of relationship because it's some people do that on purpose just because they love your attention. I don't know. I'm feeling led to tell somebody they love your attention and that's an energetic exchange. The attention that you give them is they like it. And so there's people that will, you know, they come looking for that. Like, oh, I love the way that person made me feel, you know, but it's just, they want to leech off your energy. And so they're going to leave you feeling drained in the process. And it's just going to be the same story, different day. Okay. Nothing about that person, I'm pretty sure, has changed. It's just the universe's way of saying, did you learn the lesson? Okay. We're going to go with I think, yeah, Pink World Oracle. Okay. Ooh. Bottom of the deck. Okay. So we got Crimson Edge. Stand firm in your boundaries. Okay. Assert your needs clearly in a conversation, ensuring you're respected and understood. So, okay. So I guess bouncing off of what I was saying for the Mercury retrograde, somebody coming back into your life, you know, there's red flags there. It's okay to stand firm in your boundaries. So if you need to tell somebody, please leave me alone, or if you need to push the block button, go ahead and do that. However, your boundaries are, and however you see fit to set them in place with certain people, it's okay to do that. You know, a lot of us, you know, I know for a while that was a problem with me, feeling sorry for people that I shouldn't feel sorry for. Feeling bad to have to say that or put a boundary into place. But if you don't, people with huge red flags will keep coming back and coming back as long as you allow it. Okay. If you keep allowing the toxicity and coming back and letting them feed off your energy, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And I'm getting you teach people how to treat you. Okay. It's very important that we do set boundaries. Okay. In our lives, we all need boundaries with everybody. It doesn't matter who or, you know, what it is, we need some type of boundaries. Okay. And when it comes to romantic relationships, even more so, because if you have a person that's constantly just in and out of your life, like a revolving door, that's how they're treating you, like a revolving door, in, out, and leaving you in a shit ton of confusion and not understanding, well, what the fuck do you want? What is it that you want? But every time they come back, you entertain it, knowing that there's confusion that's like a cloud of smoke trailing behind this person every time they come back. And so the crazy part, now no judgment here. I've been very guilty of doing stuff like that, okay? So just out of, you know, lesson learned for me, we have to close the door on people like that and lock that revolving door. It is no longer okay for you to keep doing this back, forth, back, forth. No, you cannot just come over for a little bit. No, you cannot just come to, you know, put yourself in my presence so you can tell me the sob story in hopes that I'll feel sorry, because that's what usually I do. And that's what people get used to because they, oh, you know, if I can give them a little, you know, shoot them a really um like love bombing text message, maybe it'll open up the doors a little bit because that worked last time. You know, and you got to tell people, don't be afraid to assert these boundaries into your life. If someone's going to come to you and approach you and you already know and seen the red flags and they left you on empty before and it was just no good, it was just toxic all around, it's okay to pump the brakes and be like, if you're not here for a true blue relationship and willing to give 100% and put everything on the table right now, then I don't think I don't think this is where the conversation ends, because you already know that person. And a lot of times, you know, it's like, well, let's just see where this goes. Yeah, I'm willing to, but let's just see the but let's, you know, it's, yeah. And even sometimes some people are willing to go the further route to agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's try. But then the next day they disappear. And then 2 days later, they're trying to call you, and it's like, wow, a 2-day gap there. Where the hell were you? And so that's when it's like, okay, you said what you had to say just to get your foot in the door. And so people can be like that with you if you let them, if you allow them and you don't tell them and speak clearly, this is my needs, this is what I want. If you can't provide that, I don't know why you're in my energy or my space, and you're a waste of my time. Thank you. Right? In the words of Devils Wear Prada, the movie, where she's like, thank you. No more conversation here. Let's just cut it. You're not worth the time. And right here at the bottom of the deck, we have, there's the card Glamour Grit. Okay, combine elegance with resilience. There's one of my words. I love that word, resilience. Combine elegance with resilience. Tackle a challenging task with a confident attitude and reward yourself afterwards. I've done this. And this could be right down to the little things, where there was a period of time where I steered away from any and all things with sugar, sweets. And that was more towards the very beginning of my keto diet. I wanted to get really, serious. And so when I did that, uh I really went hard, but I also, I told myself at later on down the line at some point, when I came across this card, because I was pulling for myself. And the first thing that popped in my mind was chocolate, because I absolutely love chocolate. And I thought, you know what? I haven't had it in a really long time. I work really hard on myself, and have been working really hard. And so why not reward yourself even with the little things? And so I remember actually looking forward to doing this. After I got out of work, I came home, did what I had to do, got myself in order, turned on the TV, started watching Sex in the City. I love that show. Absolutely love that show. And then it was like a double treat, my time. And I opened up a bag of chocolate. There I went. That was my reward, right? After I tackled something challenging, which was my job for me, my mundane 9 to 5, my work. My work is not easy. Let's just say I'm very active at work. Okay. So I do not sit down. I am constantly on the go, go, go when I'm at work. So the challenging task for me that I tackled was, just my mundane 9 to 5, and that's for a lot of us. It takes a lot to get up every day, and go to work. And I commend you guys that are out there and, pushing the 9 to 5, and even going beyond the 9 to 5 and doing 10, 11, 12-hour shifts. I know nurses can be up for a really long time, pull double shifts, even when it comes to the stores, doesn't matter what store, even a liquor store, if you're a cashier there and someone doesn't come in and they ask you to work a double, it's all work. And it's hard work, especially when you're pushing past your 8, and that could get challenging. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull another one from the tarot. I'm going on 40 minutes, people. 40 minutes on the live. So I think I'm going to pop off here. I'm going to give myself probably another 5 more minutes. So let's pull one more last tarot to get the energy out there from my collective and see what it is that you might need to hear. Take it how it resonates. Okay. Now this card popped out on me. Last night. Okay. So I was taking some time to myself last night before I went to sleep. Ace of Swords. And I sat with this card for a while. Okay, I sat with this card for a while. And so that cloud that I was talking about earlier, where it can be a cloud, this person comes in with a cloud of confusion behind them. I'm seeing that right there in the card. Okay, and whoever this is, Now, when the card originally popped out, it came out in the reverse, and I told you I don't take cards in the reverse unless I feel drawn to. And in this case, I do. And so we all know, for those of you that know the tarot, when it comes out in reverse, there's some type of truth not being spoken. Okay. And there is a lot of confusion. It's going to bring a lot of confusion. You're not going to have some type of clarity on something because whatever is coming towards you maybe is not going to be truth. Maybe this is something that you're going to figure out. It's not going to bring any type of clarity that you want. This is just going to be further confusion. So if someone's approaching you in that energy of confusion, and you know that this is something that they tend to do, they come in and confuse you. You know, they talk a good game, but they don't show it, and so it leaves you in confusion. They pop in, they pop out, and that confuses you. You know, you don't have any clarity on where anything is going. So some of you are facing that type of situation with anything, romantic relationship, a friendship, anything like that. Take it how it resonates. But somebody's coming towards you that tends to give you confusion, and there's no clarity there in that situation. Okay? Some type of truth is not being uh, told here. So I got a quick download in my brain of somebody approaching somebody else. Okay, so so let's see if I can articulate this in a way that makes sense, because I see it in my head. I see a person with something behind their back. Okay. And you're not seeing what's behind their back, but that back is what's behind that their back is whatever it is they're hiding from you. So they're not giving you the full truth. They're not telling you the truth. They're hiding something behind their back. And I see them kind of almost like leaning forward to be a little bit I see when I see the body language of this person in my mind, it's almost like they're leaning forward, almost like will you please? Can I please? Trying to convince you, in other words, of whatever it is that they're saying, but there's something behind their back. So they're not divulging, they're not giving you the full truth. Okay. And this person's just coming in with a lot of confusion, no clarity whatsoever. And I'm seeing in my head no direction. They have no direction. Okay, they're not a stable person. All talk, no show. A lot of imbalance. Um yeah, so that's crazy because when the Page of Pentacles fell out, it fell out in the reverse on my computer board, but I took it in the upright because at the time I felt led to, but now my head is reverting back to the way it fell out in the beginning. So it could be a double-sided message, you know, when it comes to Mercury retrograde, things, situations, people coming back around. The Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords in the reverse together is not a good thing, okay? This is somebody blowing a lot of smoke up your ass with the offer of a new beginning, the offer of something stable, but then it's like that revolving door. It leads to nowhere, and out in they go, and then out they go. As fast as they came in, they're going to bounce out at some point, and it's going to leave you confused, frustrated, upset. It's going to drain your energy, and it's a waste of time. So just letting you guys know, at the bottom of the deck, Okay? They're coming in like the fool that they are. All right? So it's up to you whether or not you want to entertain that. I'm hoping that a lot of you have, shut that door and keep it closed. Put up your boundaries, assert your boundaries. And maybe that's the challenge for some of you, because it could be a challenge to have to tell somebody no, especially if you're so used to saying yes. That could be the challenge for you guys. Taking on the task of that challenge to assert boundaries, tell that person what you really feel, what you really think, what you really want to say, assert your boundaries. And they're going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And when you do that to people, more times than not, you're going to see people disappear. And that's for sure letting you know, okay, I'm doing the right thing because this person disappeared. People that can't handle your truth and they just vanish, or they have something to say like, oh, that's weird. Why are you telling me this? You've never told me this before. Why are you acting like this? Or stop acting crazy. A lot of people like to just fling that word around, crazy, because you're asserting your boundaries. You're saying no. You're telling somebody, okay, this is how it's going to go. And it's more like, this is what I should have told you at the get go, because we could have saved myself a big ass headache if I would have just said this from the get go. And so with that, you're going to get a lot of people very uncomfortable with your truth, okay? When your ace of swords is in the upright, you're going to see a lot of people and their bullshit, and that sword is going to be in the reverse with a lot of people, okay? They're going to come to you with the bullshit. They're going to try to confuse you by making you think that by placing boundaries, it's weird of you, it's odd, you're overreacting. Why are you acting like this? Why are you telling me this? And so a lot of people disappear, right? They disappear. That was the card that I meant to put up, the boundaries card. But anyways, I'm holding this up because the point to everything what I'm saying is that could be the challenge that you have to face, the task of asserting your boundaries, speaking clearly, voicing your opinion, your truth, standing firm in your truth, okay? Even though this person's coming at you in the reverse, full of bullshit and confusion, right? Giving you no clarity on the situation. They're just doing what they always do. And so for you, the challenge is having to assert those boundaries, say no, and cut it. Okay? And then reward yourself afterwards. Because that's very important. The fact that we can, reward ourselves afterwards, because sometimes it takes a lot to do that. And when we do finally realize and we do shut that door on that relationship or that person, you're going to stand more in your power, be more in your higher self, be more. That's a sign of healing. Okay. And that's what this channel is all about, healing. Okay. Healing, 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 especially after you've been through a divorce and then you start dating a lot of duds and dead ends. It drains your energy, it gets you nowhere. But for some people, you have to put your boundaries up. And so when you start to come in more into alignment with yourself and, speak your truth and stand in your stability and stand your ground with people and be assertive and understand and know that that's not the problem. The problem is the other person. You're being healthy. The other person's being toxic. And when you start to realize that more and more, you stand more in your power. You start to become more of your higher self. Pull yourself into that, your higher conscious, your higher mindset. And that allows you to make better decisions for your future. When you see those red flags popping around in your life again and saying, hello, popping back up, you have better chance to say, nope, I don't think so. I know I said 5 more minutes, which was 5 minutes ago. But sometimes when spirit wants to talk, there's nothing you can do about that. You have to just let it ride. You got to go with the flow. And you got to see what the whole message is, because that's an injustice if you can't deliver the whole message. So this is important. Somebody needs to hear it. So for whoever this is for, this is the Mystic Black Rose Oracle deck. This might give you more insight to who this person is. So hopefully I'm gonna ask that it please pull a card to give more insight into who this person might be that's headed in my collective's direction for whoever this resonates with. Ooh, child, ghost. Somebody that ghosted you? Tell me it ain't so, because this shit's happened to me a lot of times. And that can be another story for another day, another live. This shit is hurtful. Okay, this is somebody that's in their energy of they're just low vibrational. Hurt people, and I know hurt people love to freaking ghost. And that is not an excuse. I'm not saying it's an excuse for people to do this shit, but it's really not. These are unhealed people that we deal with, and this shit tends to happen. They ghost. Okay? So some of you out there, whoever this resonates with, you may have gotten ghosted by this person, leaving behind, disappearing, cold, and no contact. I could take this card two different ways. And so what I'm saying when so I got a quick download in my brain. Let me share it before it flies out. Thank you, Spirit. So when I told you about the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, originally flopping out in the reverse, but I felt led to read it in the upright. And then I said from both ends, reading it from both ends, right? That's my mind went to what I said and the card going like this. So I take this the same way. Okay. So ghost, this card, when it fell on my computer board, it was in the reverse, right? So that's telling me that this person is in this energy of doing this shit. So whatever the outcome's going to be, if they come back around in your direction, you're meant to no contact. So assert your boundaries, and then you become a ghost to this person. You no longer exist to this person. Assert your boundaries, and that can mean you don't even have to answer their phone call. If you don't want to have to exert your energy like that, you can just block, and that's it. Cut it. No contact. And so this person, I'm pretty sure, because this card came out, I said describe more about this person, so my subscribers could kind of understand who it is. So go ahead and think back. Who was the last person in your life that did this to you, or even prior to that? This can go back, way back when. This could have been somebody. This could be somebody approaching you that did this a while back. It could be a year ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 5 months ago, and you haven't heard nothing. It's been absolute silence. They just went no contact, ghosted. Somebody that's willing to do that to you and give you no explanation whatsoever, that's an unhealed person. Okay? And more times than not, these people remain in that energy of unhealed, and they try to come back around into your personal space and drain you of your energy. So I guess you be on the lookout, be wary of somebody like that. Okay? That's not good. That is not good. Let's do the faded. This is the mini pocket faded love oracle deck. What do we have out there? Can you give me any advice, please, for my collective? Any advice for my collective? What is it that they need to know? What is it that they need to know? Any advice, please, from my client? Okay. It says release desire to control. Okay, we're going to see. Oh, and right here, as I picked it up, the meaning is already right here. So I don't even need to pull this out of so I guess it's just meant to be, right? It is just the way Spirit is talking today. It's just making it very easy. Let go of grasping and clinging. So maybe what I get right away, the thorns in this rose, if you look, it's not even standing upright. Kind of looks like it's already dying. And what I want to say is if something was already done and let go and this person left, they ghosted, went no contact, or you guys have been in no contact, the rose is already dying. It looks like it's already withering, like the life, it's not standing upright. It looks like it's losing its beauty and it's tipping over. And the person grasping to that rose is like hurting their hand because it's bleeding. I don't know if you could tell because they're clinging so tightly to this rose, but there's thorns on it. So whatever this is, I'm getting in my what I want to say is to just release it. Let it go. It's okay to let it go. Don't hold on so tightly to things that you know don't serve you. If they no longer serve you, it's okay to let it go. And obviously, this person does not serve you. They're not for your highest, greatest good. So let it go. And I know there can be times where some people can really be very potent when it comes to manipulation and working their way back in. And, it could be very hard. There could be a lot of nostalgia behind this connection. This could be somebody that, you've went back and forth with for quite some time. But right here, I'm seeing that just release the desire to control the situation because you're hurting yourself in the process. So if you really, you grab on tight when that person comes back because you already know they're going to try to leave, right? They're going to try to release from your grasp so they can sneak away and disappear out of your life again. And I know there's probably been times where you've tried to keep pulling that person, trying, and you're not getting nowhere, right? I got a quick download in my mind of a horse getting stuck in the mud. And so maybe it could feel like that for some of you. You're trying to pull a huge, heavy horse out of mud that it's already neck deep in, and you're pulling and pulling, right? And it's just you, and you're trying to get this horse out of the mud, and that's what some of you could be doing with the relationship. You're holding on for dear life, exerting all your energy, becoming exhausted and drained instead of just, releasing yourself and letting it go. Just let the relationship go. Let it go. Sometimes we want to control the situation where, well, if I keep holding on, the fact that we've been through this so many times, maybe this time will be different. And so that's when we're trying to control the situation by lying to ourselves, and saying, well, maybe this time, instead of trying to force a situation to a desired outcome, allow the space to work. Controlling behavior can destroy the beauty and good in your life. Avoid both controlling others and being controlled yourself. Like I said, some people can have a really heavy pull on your energy with manipulation, and that can be a form of control. When you manipulate somebody, you're controlling your desired outcome, whether you're doing it to them or they're doing it to you. Okay, and so it's saying don't do that. This person was already meant to fall out of your life and fall away. And so sometimes when we don't listen to the divine, we don't listen to our higher self, we don't listen to whoever it is that you know, or whatever it is that you go to when when you seek answers or want to know, well, why, but why this or why that? I don't know if you're praying like, can this person, will they ever change? Can they change? Like I said, we do not fix people. That's not what we're meant for, to fix someone that is unhealed, as far as like they have to come into their own. If you met this person and you've already established that there is no getting through this person, we don't, he or she is just unhealed and they're happy to stay in that energy and no one wants to grow or change. You can't force that outcome in someone else. You can only do what you can do. And if the person doesn't grow with you and they're moving against you, but you keep holding on like that rose, and in the process you're hurting yourself, it's because we want that desired outcome to be what we want it to be, right? Of course, because we want we want the love in the end and the stability and to feel safe and to feel wanted in person. Well, I don't know what happened, but YouTube informed me that there was like a disconnect. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep going. I don't know if you heard me and what I said, but obviously somebody's coming in for you guys, and that somebody doesn't want me to say what I'm saying because it's going to be detrimental and not beneficial to their outcome. So whoever or whatever this is, just be mindful, okay, and do what you need to do for your highest self. Okay, we cannot fix people, okay? We can't fix. That's what I meant to say. We are not meant to fix other people and all their problems and issues. We can't do that, especially if they're not in a space of being where they're happy with where they're at, and to each his own. you know Sometimes we're just not aligned with a specific person at a specific time for whatever reason, because maybe you're trying to be guided, spirit's trying to show you you're being led to something better, something else, but you have to let this go in order to get to your something else, right? And let me see, let's pull from the sacred soul messages, one more. I don't know how well this live feed is coming out because YouTube just said it was having issues. So I don't know if you could hear any of what's going on right now, or if I cut off. If I did, I'm really sorry. But I'm going to try to pull one more and then I'm going to hop off here to finish out my morning. Okay. And so we got, it's your light that lights the world. Self-reliance, brilliant ideas, time to shine. Remember, it's your light that lights the world, okay? Maybe you need to remember that about yourself, your worth, who you are as a person, being self-reliant, brilliant ideas, and time to shine. Okay, so pulling yourself out of things from the past and aligning more with your higher self. Maybe this is a message you guys need to hear, that it is your time to shine. And with that, we can clear, when we get true clarity and clear out the clutter and the noise that surrounds us with, when toxic people come into our lives, when we can actually clear that clutter, a lot of times it clears your mind. This light bulb, how people say, oh, the light bulb went off. Maybe for some of you hearing this, the light bulb will go off and it'll give you a newfound clarity. And with that, when you do that, you can reset your brain and you can start receiving new downloads, ideas, think about things in a different seeing things in a different light, seeing that person in a different light, the way you never seen them before, and now you're starting to see it, and it's becoming more unappealing to you. Like, no, this is not something that I want for my life. I don't want to deal with this no more. This is just a big headache. And so I really believe that's the message coming through with this card. So some of you guys were meant to hear it. Take it how it resonates. And so thank you so much for joining me whenever you see this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue on your path of, just healing yourself and becoming more aware of the people and the things that, you bring into your life. And your space, your personal space, is very sacred. So just know that, the people that are surrounding you, your energy, your time, everything is precious. Don't waste time, precious time, on people that don't deserve you, your precious energy, your precious time, your precious space, because all of that is very sacred. It is all very sacred. It's connected to us. And so we just have to be more, mindful of the people that we bring into our sacred space, right? Be more mindful of that. And so, with that being said, thank you very much for joining me again. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, night, wherever you're at in the world. Be safe out there. And thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. You're more than welcome to. And I'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody.